Good morning and welcome to another episode of Josh and Pat. I'm Joshua Klein, joined by Patrick Cassidy. And the most anticipated college football matchup of week one was LSU versus FSU. But what everyone thought was going to be a nail-biter turned out to be a blowout. FSU, with the post-hurricane bump, goes and destroyed LSU. Patrick is now on the hook for buying beers for the boys. And LSU is looking like they're not the team that beat Alabama. Patrick, what did you see from this game? And is LSU's 5 ranking just a fluke? Just an incorrect mistake?
Yeah, so, of course, it was a battle of the acronyms last night, and it turns out the post-hurricane bump is a real thing for Florida State. And so now I have two options, right? Because I was all in on LSU. And it appears that Florida State's very good. And it appears that LSU, that number 5 rank in the country might be a bit of a fluke. So I got two options here, Josh. I rather say LSU is dead to me, or I go all in. Josh, LSU's dead to me. I can't trust him. I mean, how am I supposed to show up when they know the the lights are the brightest and they can't get the job done?
No, it wasn't good. Jaden Daniels was their leading rusher. Probably not great when your quarterback's your leading rusher, unless it's like 2019 Lamar. So LSU's got some things to figure out. And FSU, I thought they were going to blow it. I mean, they had this one guy, Johnny Wilson, who I thought was a stud. And then all of a sudden, he's dropping balls that are right into his hands. Turns out those drop balls really don't matter. He still goes for 104 yards. Keon Coleman, 3 touchdowns. Ridiculous. So it turned FSU, they seem like they're legit. So I think the college football rankings are definitely going to get mixed up. They're definitely going to look very different, I think, week 2. One of those teams that people are wondering if they're going to be on there, Colorado. After everyone pretty much dogged on Colorado all offseason. I saw a clip of this guy talking about Deion Sanders, because Deion Sanders was basically like, culture. I don't care about culture. I care about having good players. And this guy was like, oh, man, they're going to get destroyed by TCU. Turns out, not the case. Colorado's good. In a world where you can just transfer players from one season to the next and have a completely different roster, it turns out you can get good fast. And I'm not saying they're great, but I'm saying that they've already tied their amount of wins from last year when they're playing in the former Pac-12. And this was against a top 15 team that was just in the national championship.
Yeah, Josh, it turns out that if you treat the college transfer portal like NFL free agency, it can work. Because that's exactly what Deion did. He said, I'm going to go out, I'm going to get good players. Now, I'm going to say not so fast, because they are a really good team. Everyone should buy in on the Colorado hype. If they make a bowl game this season, that's a huge win for this program. Because, Josh, they won one game last year. They sucked. They were terrible.
Yeah. They did. And if you look at their schedule going up, they got Nebraska, Colorado State, Oregon, that's going to be now everyone's excited about that game. And then they go USC. So like they have a good enough schedule where if they do well, I mean, they could potentially be ranked this year, which would be absolutely ridiculous.
Hey, Josh, fact or fiction, who has more wins this year, Colorado or LSU?
That's a great point. You can't argue with the stats.
You can't argue with the stats.
So hey, good for Deion Sanders and good for that guy. What's his name? Plays both. Travis Hunter. Dude, what a guy. I mean, I don't know how you play both.
Played
ways
121
like that,
snaps, Josh.
But that's ridiculous to play that much snaps. I mean, his conditioning is, Hall of Fame conditioning is what I'm thinking.
Like, put him in right now.
And it makes sense why he'd want a guy like Deion as his coach, looking in hindsight, So, hey, good for that. College football, though, electric week 1. Moving on to, I mean, this is a complete subject jump. Team USA lost to Lithuania. Now, this is a disappointment. This is a bummer. Everyone in America has been let down. We previously had been let down by our women's soccer team, and I think that everyone just assumes that the USA basketball team will never let us down. Well, we lost to Lithuania, and now we're in a position where you lose, you go home, right?
Yeah, so we're going on to the quarterfinals, and I'll tell you what, Noah Lyles, he's starting to look better day by day here with the comments he said, because you lose to Lithuania. Like, that just can't happen for Team USA. Look, you're right, Josh. We let down for the Women's World Cup. Are we about to get let down by the Basketball World Cup?
Our team, yeah. And Noah Lyles, I guess he's made a good point, because clearly and obviously that our starting lineup for Team USA is our best players, right? Like, you can't, if you look at the USA men's basketball roster right now, you say that are the 5 best players in America right now.
Yeah, because Josh, because people might argue this, and here's the counter argument. You want young, good talent, because when you're having to travel around the world and play in different environments, you want those young, energetic players. We don't need guys like LeBron James. We don't need guys like Chris Paul. We don't need guys like Steph Curry, because guess what? Already been there, already done that.
Exactly. We want that fresh blood. And so, you take the five best players from the U.S., you put them against Lithuania. Turns out Lithuania's better. What are you going to do? Noah Lyles?
Yeah, because
congratulations. You were right.
Yeah, because Josh, if you bring those players like KD, LeBron, Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, I don't know if they're hungry enough, because they've already done it. And that's why you got to have guys like Anthony Edwards and Mikal Bridges. I mean, you can't think of 2 better players to put on your nation's team than those guys.
I can't. You're right. So fix it up, USA. Don't let us down. Speaking of people who were let down, the Bengals fan base is the most loyal fan base in the NFL, according to something. I mean, how did they calculate this?
Well, apparently they couldn't calculate the Commanders because there wasn't enough presence for them. So Commanders, they're out. They're out. Commanders are out. They're not even ranked.
What is this based on, though?
I think it's based on internet interaction or something.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Because Josh, this is what I'm going to say. The Cincinnati Bengals are not the most loyal fan base, because I guarantee you most of their fans did not know what a Bengal was and where they were from until this guy named Joe Burrow came in. And now everybody's a Joe Burrow guy.
Yeah, I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense to me. This list is dumb. I mean, Philadelphia too. I'm sure they're one of the more loyal fan bases. What are they, second most? I
don't know.
Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, you're telling me these Jacksonville fans, I guess they did show up with the clown masks on, right?
Yeah, but Josh, the owner wants to move to London. How can that be a loyal?
Maybe they're calculating Jacksonville because they're so loyal. Their attendance internationally is great, and it's are they traveling international, or are they just have a lot of fans international? I don't know.
Yeah, it turns out the two could be separate, but no, they're loyal because they're traveling around.
No, they're very loyal. They're traveling all the way to London every year with that team, so that's a loyal fan base. Yeah,
and Josh, and you know what's interesting about this list is you start looking at it and you're like, well, where does the Dallas Cowboys rank in this? And you start looking around and you keep searching the list, and you find that they come in 11th. And that's not something that you expect out of the Los Angeles Lakers fans, those Duke Blue Devil fans, and those New York Yankees fans, because you think they would have a lot more loyalty to the Dallas Cowboys than that.
You would think that, but I mean, 11th is it's not great. It's not terrible, but not great because you would think you're right. You would think they're a top 5 team. So man, well, I think it's a weird list. I have no idea how they calculated that, but I just can't believe it. So I just am gonna disregard everything there and move on to the story. Is Dov Kleiman a real person? I was just thinking about this. This might not be. I mean, we're not gonna spend too much time on this. Is Dov Kleiman real, Patrick?
No, he's not because
okay.
But like, he's definitely a guy that's just hiding behind like the name, right?
Is his name Dove?
I doubt it. Because doesn't Dove get in the hot seat for basically stealing other people's tweets?
Yeah, but he's been I think he's been giving credit to some.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You know, because you learned that day one. You got to give credit.
I really did think he was an insider for a second there, though. And he just popped up.
What if we DM him every day and ask him, "Are you real?" and then see if he finally responds?
Maybe that's what we'll do. Because I personally, I mean, like, maybe we start. Should I start my own insider account, like Josh Kleinman?
Josh Kleinman. I'm actually, it's cousin. You guys are cousins.
Yeah. so we'll do that. Shannon Sharp's joining First Take today. That's a big deal. I can't imagine a world where Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith could have a conversation that's not, I mean, chaotic, but it can't go any worse than Skip's new show. Because I saw the clips of that thing, and it was the hardest watch I've ever watched in my life.
Skip doesn't talk.
Skip couldn't even get a word out. And if Skip can't get a word out, you know something's happening wrong. I mean, it was tough. It was like this. It was like the lunch table in school and just people just going at it with the debate, and not one person is listening to another person. They're just trying to get their words out. And it was so hey, hopefully Shannon Sharp and First Take really works out in a way that Skip's show is just not.
Yeah, that couldn't be a more accurate representation. Just firing takes off without listening to each other, because that's exactly what was happening. Yeah, it's what a wild show.
Cool. Justin Tucker wants to play for another 15 years. That's great news for me personally as a Ravens fan.
Congratulations.
I would love to see Justin Tucker another 15, 20 years, maybe, if he can do it.
If we can push 25 out of him, that would be huge.
But at what point does the distance start shrinking? Because one of the things I like about Justin Tucker is that at any point in the game, I know they can trot him out and he's going to make an attempt. If Justin Tucker, if he can't make 65 yarders, it's like, do I want that?
Yeah, as a Ravens fan, it's like as soon as you get past midfield, you're in field goal range, and that's a great feeling to know. That's like, hey, we can get points on the board. Yeah, exactly. So, but you know what? If maybe he's superhuman, and
15 years from now, he might be hidden from further back.
Yeah, he could be 70 by then, because you got to think, modern medicine by then. Give 15 years, Josh, and there's endless possibilities.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. And so now this segment I'm excited for, Patrick. We're gonna go through the NFL honors and give our predictions for all the NFL honors, then AFC Championship, NFC Champion, just champion, and Super Bowl champion. Okay, we're gonna rapid fire. If you wanna do some elaboration, you can. First, we're going ground player of the year, Patrick.
Ground player of the year, I'm going Nick Chubb. I think he's gonna have a big year.
I'm going Saquon Barkley. Maybe should have won it last year. I think he's gonna have another big year this year now that he's been paid. Next, we got coach. I'm going Saleh. I think that the Jets are going to be solid, not great, but I think the hype around him. What? What?
That's my pick too. That's my pick too. We're doomed.
Okay. Well, that's tough. But I think the hype around him is enough. Like that's how Brian Dable won it, and I'd argue that they just made the playoffs. So,
well, they won a playoff game, Josh. Don't forget.
Oh, that's right, they did.
They
cool,
did.
Patrick, offensive player.
Offensive player of the year. This is an interesting one. I'm taking a guy by Nick Chubb. And the reason why I go with him is I think he's going to have a big year. I already took him ground player of the year. I think he's going to have a huge role with Cleveland this year.
Wow, I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to have weapons. I think he's got that contract. He's paid. He wants to go out and have another great year. Maybe it's not an MVP year like 2019, but I think it's enough to get offensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year, we're coming back from injury. TJ Watt. He was dominant when he was healthy. He comes back from injury. I think he's dominant again.
Josh, I'm unfortunately riding with you that I really like TJ Watt, so he doesn't have a chance to win.
Okay. Patrick, comeback player of the year.
Yeah, comeback player of the year. Is it bad if I don't take DeMar Hamlin here? Because, it feels like, you know what? Screw it. Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson. He's comeback player of the year.
I forgot about DeMar Hamlin there. You're right. They are going to give it to him. But I'm going to actually take Baker Mayfield.
Ooh.
New situation. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Maybe this guy can, because if he can just play like he did in Cleveland, which is pretty mediocre but still decent, I'd say that's enough to get him potentially comeback player of the year. If
Josh,
DeMar
you can't
Hamlin
wasn't
wasn't playing, if DeMar Hamlin wasn't playing,
right? And you got it. Well, let's hope he keeps playing, Josh. We don't want to see anything happen to him, but
no.
Mike Evans, though, down there in Tampa with Baker, contract year. Maybe ball out. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. We're going with offensive rookie. I'm going to take Zay Flowers. Little partnership with Lamar, because if Lamar's offensive player of the year, I think Zay Flowers has a great chance to be offensive rookie. It was tight between Zay and my guy Bijan. But
Bijan, that's your guy. That's your guy. I'm going with a guy, Quentin Johnson, because it's inevitable that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams get hurt. So Justin Herbert has to throw to someone.
Yeah, I did. I picked him up on my fantasy team for that reason.
Yeah.
So we're going defensive rookie of the year. Give me Jalen Carter.
Ooh, you took a dog down there. Oh, well, I should say a dog up there in Philly. You know what? I'm going. Well, I was going to take. I wanted to take a dog there, but I'm not. I'm taking Will Anderson. He's a chalk pick. He's going to be good with the Texans.
Absolutely. And last on the NFL honors, we got MVP. Patrick, who do you got?
I'm so bought in on this guy. I love him. I don't know what's done the 180 for me, basically, but I think Aaron Rodgers is going to win an MVP this year.
Wow, that's bold. I don't know if they have the offensive line to do that, but I'm going to take MVP Trevor Lawrence.
Wow. Well, you got to think. Calvin Ridley, he's betting on himself, so that's good to have.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. He's betting on himself for sure. And so he doesn't care about it's. He's doubling down. And he's saying, "Hey, I'm a great player in the NFL," and so I think they're going to do great.
And you would have to think.
And Colin told me that Calvin and Trevor Lawrence were one of the top wide receiver NFL quarterback duos in the NFL. So,
and you would think
I know
Calvin,
it's going to be legit.
Calvin's probably there saying, "Look, I'm betting on myself here. If you help me, I help you." And so you got to think there's probably some sort of deal in place.
Yep. Cool. AFC champion, Patrick, who you got?
Yeah, Josh, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. It's now or never. You got to go with the Baltimore Ravens, and they got a chance to go on an all-time run here, Josh. I think you can talk more about that one.
I mean, I am also going with the Baltimore Ravens here. I think they're gonna go, and I think they're gonna do big things here.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the all-time run?
The all-time run is just a run to a championship. It's an all-time. Everybody will remember it.
Yeah, and then NFC champion. Hey, listen, I'm setting up for a rematch of the century. I'm going 49ers.
Oh no. This is doomed. I got the 49ers too. This is
okay. So Ravens.
There's just no chance.
I mean, Patrick,
yeah, Ravens,
we're gonna clip this. If this, Patrick, we're gonna clip this, and if this is right, I mean, how sick? I mean, to have two people, our credibility, our stock is through the roof.
Through the roof. Because you got to remember, 49ers, right now, I mean, they're coming off a year. They are so confident in their quarterback, Josh, that they trade it their one guy away. Because if Brock Purdy goes down, you wait until Sam Darnold lights it up.
Oh, yeah. Now, and I think, this is going to be major. I mean, this is going to be super helpful for our credibility because right now, I mean, the public perception is not great.
Not after last night.
No, so Ravens 49ers Super Bowl, Patrick, Super Bowl champion. I'm taking the Ravens here.
No way. And Josh, I mean, I talked about they're going to go on an all-time run. So you can't go on an all-time run and not win a championship. So the Baltimore Ravens are your 2023 Super Bowl champions.
Yeah. And there's no bias in this prediction. This is an honest take. I looked at the teams and I said, which one is the best? Which one is going to do the best? And people forget.
Right, and we're just comparing.
A couple of years ago, I didn't pick the Ravens, and I was right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't pick the Ravens last year. I didn't. And I was right about that because the Kansas City Chiefs won. But Josh, this is us being unbiased, looking at the rosters, breaking it down, seeing what coaches are going and performing well. We're looking at the schedule, we're breaking it down, and we see a Super Bowl champion in the Baltimore Ravens. That's what we forecast. That's what our model's telling us here at Picks and Pancakes.
And after I saw Zay Flowers, rap into Kodak, and I was like, oh shoot, this team's bought in. They love each other. OBJ's the happiest he's been in years. Mm-hmm. I'm pumped. It's gonna be great. Cool. And that's the show. If you
and Josh, statistically speaking, I mean the Ravens went on an all-time run in the preseason, 24 straight. But how many Super Bowls did that lead to? It led to 0. And this year they lose because the Commanders were trying to win their Super Bowl, and they did that. So now it's time for the Ravens to return that favor.
Great point. Oh man, that's that's awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the show. If you guys are still watching, make sure you DM us on Instagram, and you will get a free mug and
that easy.
A $10 McDonald's gift card. Also, go to picksandpancakes.com to read everything happening in sports. Thursday, we got a live stream for NFL kickoff. It's gonna be exciting. We're gonna get everything tight.
Yeah, Josh, I just want to give a quick shout out. We went on TikTok Live last night, and I think we got a fan for life. Shout out to our guy, Ronald. He unfortunately lost a good chunk of money last night, but it's okay. We'll battle back. He's down there in Florida. He rode out the hurricane, and you know what? We're going to ride out the storm too, Ronald, and we're going to be back to win.
Shout out, Ronald. Cool. Anyway, guys, this show. We'll see you guys on Thursday for a live stream, and then on Friday for our podcast, and probably some point in between
YouTube show
for another episode of Picks and Pancakes. You guys have a wonderful day. A peace.